Hello everyone, welcome to LearningPad 3D. The horse that proclaimed an empire. Imagine a time when the mighty Mauryan Empire had just collapsed. For nearly a century and a half, the Mauryans had ruled vast lands across India. But after the death of the Ashoka, the empire slowly weakened. Its rulers became less powerful. Provinces grew restless and the great imperial structure began to fall apart. This then came a dramatic turning point. Let us learn in detail about this. Children, in 185 BCE, during Grand Military Parade, the last Mauryan ruler, let me write his name for you, he is Brihadrata. Brihadrata. So this Brihadrata was overthrown and killed by his own commander-in-chief called Pushyamitra Shunga. Let me write his name for you again. Pushyamitra Shunga. You can see him on my screen. With this act, the Mauryan Empire ended and a new dynasty was born, the Shunga Empire. The Shunga Empire. But children, by seizing the throne was one thing, and it has to prove he had to rule in a right way. Pushyamitra was not a Mauryan prince. He is not from the Ashokan dynasty. Pushyamitra was not from the Mauryan dynasty. He had not inherited the throne through a royal blood. He had not taken power through force. So now he has faced a serious challenge that how could he convince the people, the nobles, the priests and the neighboring kings that he was the true ruler of the northern India. The answer lay not only in the sword but in the ancient Vedic ritual known as Ashwamedha. You can see it on the screen, children. What was Ashwamedha Yajna is today's concept. Today we are going to learn what is Ashwamedha Yajna. As you can see, a good horse is seen on the screen. You can see here. So this horse, you can see, the Ashwamedha Yajna or a horse sacrifice. Medha means here they are sacrificing. Ashwa, it's a horse. Yajna it's a ritual. So Ashwamedha Yajna means horse sacrifice ritual. I'm writing it for you. Horse means Ashwa. Medha is sacrifice. Okay? And Yajna here refers to a ritual. So Ashwamedha Yajna is a ritual, one of the grandest and most prestigious royal rituals of ancient India. This was not just an ordinary religious ceremony, it was political declaration and a military challenge and a religious statement of kingship all at once. In simple words, when a king performed the Ashwamedha, he was publicly announcing. Let me tell you a good dialogue of what the king was truly feeling at that time. I'm not just a ruler, I'm a sovereign, I'm powerful enough to command the land around me. That was his true dialogue at that time. The ritual was meant to prove that the king was a Chakravarti. Okay. A supreme ruler, we can say, or a universal monarch, we can say. It symbolized not only religious merit but also territorial authority. Yes, so when Pushyamitra chose to perform the Ashwamedha Yajna, he was doing something very strategic. He used an ancient tradition to build modern political legitimacy. So as you can see on the screen, the ceremony began with the selection of a special horse. You can see the celebration. The ceremony will be like a selection of a special horse, often described in a tradition as a strong, noble and a pure stallion, a symbol of royal energy, power and freedom. The horse was not treated like an ordinary animal. It becomes the king's living symbol of king's authority. After being ritual consecrated, the horse was set free to wander across the territory for 1 year, one full year. Now this is where the ritual become politically influential or politically brilliant, I can say. The horse was not wandering aimlessly. It was carrying a silent message throughout the country, throughout the region. It was carrying that everywhere it went. It was as if it was announced that this horse belongs to the king Pushyamitra. If you want to stop it, you challenge his authority. If you allow it to pass, you accept his supremacy. So the horse became much more powerful than a ritual in the object. It became moving declaration of an empire. Okay, if anybody stops it, they have to fight the Pushyamitra. That's what we can see here on the screen. It was accompanied, like you can see, there were 2 strong military escort. Not only 2, there will be many also. It was accompanied by a strong military escort, elite warriors, commanders, and royal guards. Their job was not merely to protect the horse from danger. The real task was to defend the honor of the king. You can see here, right? They are defending the honor of the king. And as the horse moved through the neighboring kingdoms and frontier territories, each local ruler had to make a choice. They have, let me write it for you. They have 2 options. Okay. First option is, if a ruler blocked the horse and captured it, that means he is ready for a war. With whom? Pushyamitra. 2 options, okay. Then the second option is, okay, that means he is rejecting. I reject his authority. I challenge him for a war. So he is ready for a war. That person who blocked it. So the Ashwamedha Yajna was not only a religious act, it was also a test of political control over surrounding territories. If it passed, that means he accepts Pushyamitra's rule in their kingdom. They accept the Pushyamitra's rule in their kingdom. So it turned to the map of India into a battlefield, honor, obedience, kingship, and whatnot, everything. Okay, this is about Ashwamedha Yajna. So children, and I would like to mention the return of the horse. When the horse is returned, if the horse has completed its 1 year of journey and returned safely to the capital, that means something is very important here. The horse returns was therefore not just the end of a journey, it was the proof of sovereignty. Okay. And at this point, the ritual will become as a political celebration of what will be the aspects here to be noted is, it shows royal power. Okay. It also shows some divine blessings, political victory, and legitimacy. Okay. So in symbolic terms, the horse returned carrying the message that king's authority has traveled across the land and came back unbroken. Okay. Okay. Then why did there rises a question, why did Pushyamitra performed it more than once? He has performed it when we have not mentioned in your textbook, but when we go for the other sources. So here he mentioned it in twice. Ashwamedha Yajna, at least twice he has done. That is an important detail, because performing it once was already a huge royal statement, but performing it twice meant that Pushyamitra was not merely celebrating one victory. He was repeatedly asserting and reinforcing imperial authority. Okay. To know more interesting facts like this, more interesting notes about this, please subscribe to LearningPad 3D channel. Thank you.